Welcome to yet another episode of Seat at the Table. It's important that, especially as a black person, we constitute 93% of the population, yet we're not close to being at the seat at the table. Today, I'm privileged to have Victoria Africa as my guest. She's an activist, and you've seen her, especially she's passionate about fighting for the informal market, the unbanked market. And if it's you, I have Victoria Africa as our guest on the seat at the table. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I know we've been trying to schedule this, and thank you for coming.
And thank you for having me.
So I usually see you as this woman. I've seen your videos go Eldorado Park. I've seen your videos in town, especially Conward, and you were the first person challenging the foreigners that they must man up, they must go to their countries and fix them. Like, first, before I maybe you answer me about that, who's Victoria Africa?
Victoria Africa, she's a girl who grew up in Limpopo. I'm from Limpopo province. I'm a Pedi speaking woman, but I don't want to dwell into that side of things for now. However, yes, I'm from Limpopo and I work for the Patriotic Alliance, which is a political organization, and I'm also a community activist. So I'm a patriot more than anything. I love my country and its people, and not only that, it doesn't end there. However, also I love the entire continent, which is something that people might think, Unamanga, she's been vying foreign nationals in her country, but you'll get to understand as we are having this conversation. But yes, I'm a member of the Patriotic Alliance, a member in good standing, and a community activist, yes.
So, in your courageous endeavor, what has driven you to start and be part of this campaign of saying illegal foreign nationals must leave?
Okay, it starts with the love for God, because I think I was brought in this journey by the Lord. I wanted to do other things of which we'll discuss at the later stage. But God said, I want you this side. And I'm one person that lives for God, literally. And I also love my country very much. I truly love South Africa and its people, and I don't want to lie. I want us to move forward as a country. I want us to build an independent country. That's why I'm also passionate about the informal market. I feel that's a space that we need to use as a country to produce future business leaders, because that's where everything starts. That's where people start creating their products and putting it to the test. Before you become a big business, you start there in the informal market. So, but the love of my country and its people brought me here. The love for this continent also brought me here. But more than anything, the love for God.
So, like, utsepileng haulata ma Nigerian, ma Zimbabwean, kwale ko North, ulimsadu liwan, hey, hamben lan, like utsepileng.
No, I was with Mr. Scop and Donor. It was the three of us. Okay, all right. I was with my team, obviously, but when we went in, it was just the three of us, because people really literally got scared. Other people had to, move away and act like they are not part of whatever it is that, because it was hectic, facing thousands of foreign nationals, especially people that have told themselves, they rule the streets. They own the streets. They've marked a territory. So you come into their space and you start, giving it to them. So it's obviously Badumela, they're not gonna like it. They're not gonna agree with you. They're not gonna support whatever it is that you're doing. Because I remember when we started, we also approached the Gauteng wardens, the green beans. I think Rababisa did green beans.
Yeah.
We had a group of around Trevor. I think we were at seven of them. But when I went in with Trevor and Queen Rose, we were left only with two of them. The rest disappeared, vanished, literally, because it was tense. They knew anything can happen. But I always pray, and before I do anything, I pray, I invite God in all that I do, to ask for protection, to ask for strength. Because if you can remember the message I was giving to African people, especially when we were doing the campaign, it was very clear. We want them to go back to their respective countries, to fix them, to go and ensure that their own leaders account, to ensure that we develop this continent. Because it can't be correct that you have got all this capable, powerful, good-looking, tough men in Africa that feel it's okay for them to migrate into our countries or foreign countries to go sell dirty clothes on the streets, to go sell cell phone covers and call themselves businessmen. And when you show them, Uguti, but where are you coming from? You've left meaningful resources, you've left the gold, the diamonds and platinum. Why can't you make sure that you voting the right people into government and people that are literally going to look after these countries? They don't want to hear that. They don't want to build or make sure that their own leaders account. When they want to migrate to these countries to come sell do funny business here, and they don't even read the laws. That's the problem I have with African migrants. When they visit foreign countries, they don't want to familiarize themselves with the laws. Or when I go to South Africa, what type of businesses am I allowed to operate in as a foreign national? What type of jobs am I allowed to occupy as a foreigner? They're not interested. They want to come and pull out a race card. I am African. This is Africa. But Africa is a continent. South Africa is a sovereign state. It has its own laws. We are a country of laws that needs to be respected. People, when they come here, they must respect our laws and abide by our laws and also listen to us and respect us. They are not doing that. They were chasing us. And in fact, with that particular program that you're talking about, I think we met over 1,000 of them on that particular day, the first try. And I was shocked to see them responding positively. There were no insults or anything of that sort. They literally just looked down after I said whatever I said there. And the second visit, that's when there was now tension because they wanted to attack Trevor. We had over 1,000 men pointing fingers, telling me if I know my father. They always say such. We're talking about economic growth. You want to tell me if I know who my father is? What does that have to do with the conversation? Why can't you take accountability? Why can't you be responsible enough to ensure you fix your country and push your own government to get it right? If they are failing, remove them. And when somebody from South Africa is telling you, Uguti, go and fix your land, you find that xenophobic. So we want our streets clean. Before you also come in, I want to highlight Rona is a country. We want to attract potential investors that are going to come here, invest, build infrastructure, invest and employ citizens and pay tax. Those are the people that we want to allow in our markets. You can't have people coming here to do as they please, coming here to sell cell phone covers. But Rona Hausheba, in these African countries, you've got your MTN, you've got your Standard Bank, your DSTV, big companies that are employing their citizens, that are contributing towards their economy. Mm-hmm. Rona, they want to come and sell cell phone covers or sell fruits and veggies on the streets. Yes. Like, why can't you give us products? And they must understand that trade is an exchange of goods. We give you goods and you do the same. It's an exchange of goods. Not, Rana, we giving them goods, but they want to give us warm bodies. And undesirable illegal immigrants, for that matter.
Do you think our government is doing enough, Kapo? They are reactionary. And I'm speaking on the basis that you've seen recently what the mayor of Johannesburg has done. I mean, you started this campaign as far back as, when was it? Late 2020. Last year was 24 late.
Yeah, we've been for as long as I can remember. It's been quite a number of years. We've started with spaza shops. We then started also doing cleaning campaigns in town, because and in fact our government is an embarrassment. I'm going to tell you that. First,
why do you say that?
Let me tell you. Especially, let's say, for example, when our president took to office, he pledged and vowed Uguti he will lead this country guided by the Constitution. His duty is to follow constitutional guidelines in everything that he's doing, including the state departments. They need to follow the law to the T, but they are not doing that. Now you've got an influx of people that are coming here. But already passport. Passport is a traveling document that allows you to be in our country for like 90 days. Per annum, remember. But these people come here, get passport. Whoever is working in Home Affairs, I'm referring to Home Affairs officials, they don't even check but monacheng or refile hatlamu. Do you even have money to take care of yourself? Where are you going to stay? Should you get sick? Will you be able to afford the private healthcare
Yeah.
as a foreign national? No, they're not interested in such. They just approve these applications. And in fact, we are where we are because of government. For example, foreign policy says if you are if you are a foreign student coming to study in South Africa, after completing your studies, you need to return back to your country of your origin. But we have got over millions of them. I don't have the exact figure, but I know most of them, after completing their studies, they don't leave. It's only a few that leaves and goes back to their country of origin. We don't have a monitoring team in place that will go and ensure, okay, Urifile, he's been in the country for the past 4 years, studying. Now that Ufeditse, did they return back to their country of their origin? Nobody is monitoring them. We have those people, they inconveniencing our own graduates. So we must remember South Africa offer the best education in Africa. In fact, top 10 of the best universities in Africa, all 7, these are almost South Africa. We literally are educating the entire continent. And the people that we want in our country is those that are going to offer critical skill. So how can I teach you? And then offer a critical skill how. And what are these people doing here? After completing their studies, why are they not returning back? We've got doctors that are graduate that cannot even work. They are unemployed. They have to protest. That's how shameful our government, shameless our government is. You have got qualified, educated doctors that cannot find jobs. Teachers can't find jobs. But we've got Zimbabwean nationals that are in our public and private schools, educating our kids. And remember, Zimbabwe doesn't have resources to produce quality education. Their way of doing things is behind and backwards. So why especially maths and science? Their way of doing things it's backwards and behind. Computer now Ness is a village girl. From Skolo Saka in the villages, I compete with somebody that is studying in a multiracial school in Sandton.
But Zimbabwe, like in all the O levels, like somewhat like Yako England, and this is my own little understanding and knowledge. And I believe that there was a time, especially during former President Robert Mugabe's tenure, may his soul rest in peace, they had good quality education. So
Yes.
would you suggest that now it has degenerated and now their education level is less than ours?
Yes, Zimbabwe, to begin with, is currently a collapsed state. Yes, they are trying to rebuild, and we applaud them for that. And however, they're not doing much because their citizens keep migrating on a daily basis. That also gets to show whatever it is that they're doing is not really working. And Robert Mugabe, when he was still, remember he took over from the who was the president
previous
before?
regime.
Smith. I can't remember his
Yes.
name. Yes. Now those guys were producing quality education at the time. So when he took over, right. But now currently Zimbabwe has collapsed, and have you seen their public schools in Zimbabwe?
No, I've not been to Zimbabwe.
And I've never been to Zimbabwe also. But you can see whatever the activists, especially in Zimbabwe, there are those that are raising concern, and you would sometimes see the public schools.
I'm thinking,
right?
in saying this and being a patriot,
Yes.
don't you think one day we should visit Zimbabwe and speak from first-hand information, perhaps?
Yeah, we can do that. But also, hence I'm saying, we've got proof in black and white. As I'm saying, South Africa offers the best education in
The continent,
it
like you
has
said.
the best universities. Zimbabwe does not even form part of it. So Zimbabwe also doesn't have money to produce quality education or resources. They don't have money or resources to produce quality education. So now, if ever kids in school look at us teacher ya ka isna le ka duster. That type of education system that I'm saying it's way backward and behind. Do you think it can compete? Because le change now and then. You need to adapt to the new changes. And also, Lynn, I'm not happy with the education system that we have currently as the country, because for the fact that we are failing to produce innovators, creators, entrepreneurs, it means we also not not on the right track. We need an education system that can be able to produce what I've told, and also not only the entrepreneurs and innovators and creators. I wanna fail. Remember, we've also have got people by they are not doing well. Moto slow, but matsoho. Understand? If ever
Like the FET colleges.
yes, so they're not enough, right? We don't have. In fact, we want also an education system that will be able to help us identify talented South Africans, especially in terms of sports. Iskaba focus fela go entrepreneur because it's not everybody that wants to be an entrepreneur, right?
Yep.
It's not everybody that can be a creator. But and it's not everybody or when it comes to
Academic things.
yes. So we need to find we need to create an education system it will help us produce kaofela, so for accommodate entrepreneurs, accommodate innovators and creators, and also le ba ileng gore ra ba tseba ke bana ba rona ba slow. You get. So if your education system that you offer then is unable to produce all of those, then how are you going to build a country? Because you need all those people to build a country.
So maybe let's speak about the informal economy, something you and I are passionate about.
Yes.
What do you think needs to be done in order to ensure that the historically economically disadvantaged people, they find a seat at the table of the economy?
Okay, so let me first start with, especially in the informal market, let's start with the spaza shops. I'm part of a team that is led by Trevor and I, and under the Patriotic Alliance, the A team. We're closing spaza shops, and we have done so also. We took a number of spaza shops there in Naledi, I think over 20 stores. So what we did was working together with different organizations. I think Bo Kasim Noto, Bo Family Tree, all these organizations that normally funds Kasi entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs in the townships or in the informal market. So we took those shops from foreigners by force. We handed them back to South Africans. South Africans are running those shops. We renovated those shops. We, especially in terms of shelvings, remake
Nice.
Yes. So, and also 30% of the products that they are selling in those stores are locally produced products.
What do you mean?
For example, the entrepreneurs in the townships that are creating ikaba juice, ikaba yogurt,
Boroto.
ikaba boroto, ikaba anything that is totaling recognition yet on our markets, that might not be known, that has not been introduced before, but those guys are Bobupi, Maize Mill, yes, Millie Mill. So all those products, I think we need to have go there and visit so that you get to see the type of products that I'm talking about as well. Bo Archer, Bo Refilus Archer.
No, I know, and,
Yes.
and that's why I'm interested in this. Now, something that's interesting, no?
Yeah.
That I need you to tell me about the challenges you've experienced. Whereby how the foreigners, looking at the locals, in terms of rent. If nesin ntlo ya ko eno re lata ntlo ya nkgono semangmang kapo it's a family house le batlo kenya an entrepreneur I hear, what challenges have you come across ntlo tse lwanelwang and so on?
It's always an issue, but I don't have an experience where, in fact, in all the programs that I've done, they've always been successful, and I thank the Lord for that. We don't really get much resistance. Yes, in other areas, which I'll talk about. I think there was a spaza shop in Flehof where we had resistance, especially from the community members that benefit from foreign-owned shops. Those are the type of challenges that we normally get. These girls that sleeps with illegal immigrants. Unfortunately, we can't be ruled or controlled by horny women that don't want to work for themselves, but rather think it's okay for them to live off foreign nationals that are here illegally in the country, because those are normally the groups that makes noise. The same when their kids die, they want us to intervene. But now when you're warning them, they don't want to listen. So normally those are the challenges. Or a landlord that will tell you, but this is how we survive. And we understand it's one of I don't support sex work. I am against sex work. I strongly refuse for women must participate in. So let me go wrong or understand. Because Rather, what is it that you can go do? Like maybe go sebetsa ko cleaner or go rekisa ko strateng le nna.
Maybe let's speak to that. Let's speak to that
Yeah.
as finding
So-
expression in the economy and a
Yes,
seat
yes.
to say a typical young person, a young woman,
Yes, who's
in-
capable.
who's okay, capable,
Yes,
in the villages, in the rural areas, and in the townships,
yes.
and they can't find jobs or learnerships at the moment. What is it that they can do, especially with the programs as a patriot that you've spoken about?
Yes, find sell. Let's go into business. We can try it for women, especially who easy because re batho ba friendly by nature. We have got friends. We Hoba easy for women to sell over share when it comes to body Tupperware. Remember that back in the days they were selling Tupperware, the Khona no Kibu Inuga and many others tse leng gore ba di etsa to sell and survive. But it cannot be correct that you'll want to do sex work or offer body yagao, because I think there was also one incident that I must mention where we were closing a spaza shop in Noord-Kasserg. We found that the one of the guys that was working there, who is from Bangladesh, had married a 17-year-old at the time. How do you marry a 17-year-old? And who approved such marriages? Because that lady, she was saying she was turning 18, if I can remember. Ne? She was turning 18, Rona Harkwala. Which means she got married to this Bangladesh guy the previous year. So how do you even marry a 17-year-old?
How did you deal with that?
So we went Raumunyalolosa there, go Home Affairs.
Did you?
Yes.
What was the process?
Government officials, they don't want to take responsibility. They were telling us we should wait for certain people, but we called the girl also Naira Motsa. The husband, who's from Bangladesh, doesn't even know the wife's name. He just wrote love. When we ask Kore, what's your woman's name? He doesn't know. And he's been paying this girl 300 rand to 400 a month. He said 300 to 400 a month. Imagine. So imagine at 17, you're already selling your country so that cheap. You don't even care. You don't want to know when you to a point where you can even sell your own country. And when we tried to call her back, she had also already blocked. I think she the phone. Yeah, because we could not reach her anymore. But we took that guy to Home Affairs. We said, and Home Affairs didn't want to assist. Obviously, they told us we should come when they were senior officials. And
Serious?
Yeah.
What does the law say?
Remember Section 11, and in fact, it's an issue that we raised with Home Affairs. We once had an engagement with Home Affairs. We raised concern, but Lona as a department, when you see, say for example, over 1 million men, foreign men, applying basadi ba South Africa, don't you think it's a red flag? Why are you allowing all these men to come into our country? They come here, they don't have a plan, they are not here to offer a critical skill. As the law suggests, they are not here to operate businesses that meets the 5 million investment margin and requirement, but you've allowed them in. Because remember, according to SA law, if we are to follow our laws, if we are to follow the constitutional guidelines under Immigration Act 13 of 2002, you will know what it says. Foreigners can only come here to occupy critical skills, jobs. They can only come here to operate the business, those businesses that meets the 5 million investment margin, right? Or you come here as a tourist, which means if you are a tourist, you can be in the country for that 90 days per annum. And then once it expires, you need to return back to the country of your origin. Or you can be here as to study, student visa. After completing your studies, you return back to the country of your origin. See, if we are to follow the law, it will mean we will have, by now, a small group of foreign nationals that are here adding value to our economy. Because a person who is here on a critical skill, you'll find them at upmarket suburbs. They are there in your Sandton, your Bryanston and all these upmarket suburbs because they can afford. They are being paid well, right? And you won't even find them at our clinics. You won't find them there by Bara, Relwana Lebone. Understand? You won't find them at our public health care facilities because the law, Section 17 under Immigration Act is very clear. As a foreign national, you need to go use a private health care facility, not public, but private. But they are not doing that because the law has not been enforced. So once we close the borders, we need to close borders, deport all these people that are undesirable, even those ones that have got documents, ne? However, occupying non-res skills jobs, they must be deported. It's a violation. We want them gone. The likes of Pitantoro. But Pitantoro, they are TV presenters in South Africa. And I've seen there was once a video that went viral and I was attacked for saying Pitantoro must leave. And I still say that to this day. Pitantoro, Zimbabwe in a station say one TV station. They must go with the knowledge that they've got and skills that they've acquired. They must go there and build their own TV stations. We cannot have Zimbabweans coming here to present TV presenting work. We've got talented South Africans that are capable of doing that. And they were telling me about Trevor Noah. And remember, America is known for recruiting foreign talent. And we cannot be expected to...
And he was adding value.
Yes, and we cannot be expected to operate like America. We are not America. We are a sovereign state with its own laws. Rona in South Africa, where a TV presenter does not fall under the critical skill. So if a South African, America ya matla because bona, being an English teacher, China and South Korea, they are taking South African teachers to come and teach English there, because teaching English, it's a rare skill in China. Do you get? So but that's not a critical skill. In South Africa, it is. It's not a critical skill. But in China, it might be. Being a TV presenter in America might be a critical skill. Why are they recruiting foreign talents? We don't want to look like America. We want to look like America when it comes to development and empowering entrepreneurs and ensuring that there's a financial muscle injected on our entrepreneurs. We want to also be like Abo China now. Bonakimo, we've got Bojeto and Jayco and all this fancy, nice, technologically advanced cars that are now flooding our markets now from the likes of China. While Rona, we are folding our arms. Where is Black South Africans?
Don't you think the problem lies with bilateral trade relations that we've signed? Because you and I have never, and any other South African, and I stand to be corrected, we're not privy to the bilateral trade relations, bilateral trade agreements that are signed with these countries. Because inside those agreements, whatever they had agreed upon, it's what you and I don't know. We only see the results.
Yes, but I can tell you now, any treaty that can be signed that supersedes the constitution of the country. It starts there. Our constitution is more powerful than any other agreements we have with the world. We are ruled and governed by the constitution.
Okay, let me make it micro.
Right.
Let me scale it down.
Yes.
So here in Gauteng,
you
would know, playing in the informal market, the Gauteng Township Economic Development Act, which empowers what you guys are doing, like what you've started with the 20 stores.
Yes.
It says, especially how Shabakona lady, Jabulani Mall, 30% whatever procurement they do, they must source it locally. And they've not done that. And you guys are advancing that. What is the problem in ensuring that, and because you're a politician activist, what is the challenge in taking Ntate Panyaza Lesufi and his government in Gauteng to say, MEC wa economic development, to say, but this needs to be addressed so that there's economic liberty for South Africans, especially the informal market. What is your response to that?
Okay, so we might not have spoken to Panyaza's office or the others that you have mentioned, but I can tell you now we are currently in talks with government to try to resolve this matter. Like I said, I think I didn't even finish up what I was trying to explain to you in terms of spaza shops, what we have done and what how far we have we come in terms of ensuring the economy, South Africans get economic freedom.
Sure.
South Africans are allowed to participate in a market that is strictly reserved for them, right? So I'll share the details later, like I'm saying, especially in terms of the engagement we are having with government. You'll probably be one of the first people that we will call and say, hey, now we've got feedback for you, so let's unpack. But we're working on it, like I said. Rona, we've been defending the informal market with our lives. We've been defending the informal market at all costs, and for a reason. Like I was saying, the shops that we took from these foreigners so far, where 30% of the products that are being sold in those shops are locally produced. It doesn't only end there. So government has to come to the party. Gonna know the 30%, we are using those products to test the markets, because remember, you can't be selling things that people are not familiar with or that doesn't support. So we're testing the market, Rabona, from the current batch that we are offering in the spaza shops, which products is the market receiving positively, and which ones and before you know it, we moved the percentage to 60%. Is also just an example. And before you know it, you'll have our spaza shops that are selling 100% locally produced products, right? And it's not going to end there. The intention is to have our own supermarkets. Where
wow, nice.
Yes. So we want to have our own supermarkets where we literally selling locally produced products. All locally produced products will be found there, and it has to be leveling it will compete with the likes of Pick n Pay, your ShopRite, your Spar, right? And it has to be your entrepreneurs that are from the township market. An opportunity to come and the products that want to be on the shelves, and we're going to nationalize those supermarkets. They're not going to for example. But at the later stage, they must be found, like ShopRite, the way we operate, you find them in each and every province. That's where it's going. And we will be teaming up also with black farmers. They must come forward, or whatever their produce is, team up and sell these products in our own supermarket. Before you know it, we are penetrating the international markets. Africa. Mm-hmm. We've got Abu ShopRite, Nigeria, and many other African countries. That's where it's going. And who knows? Asian markets, the European markets, who knows? That's where this thing is going. So, and it's, for me, that is creating and building wealth. We want to produce our own Johann Rupert and the Oppenheimers.
Do you believe in that?
Yeah, I'm telling you, we are part of. If you are to say to me, show me, Victoria, I can take you now. Even our own, it doesn't end there. Our own dispatch centers, they will be selling, they will be supplying spaza shops locally produced products. Hence, I'm saying for now, we are still testing.
Working with government, like you said.
But
maybe a proposal while I'm asking if you're working with government. It's that while Gauteng has the Gauteng Township Economic Development Plan, maybe, and this is what we've been advancing as the Black Entrepreneurs Alliance, to say, why don't we have the National Township and Rural Economic Development Plan?
Yes. So,
and if it's law, it speaks to what you've just said.
Offline. Because some of the things, hence I'm saying, when you're working on something, you don't want to share much, right?
Sure.
But what we are trying to do is to make sure that we take full control of the informal market. And haki wakadi supermarkets and the spaza shops and remember also the guys that will be supplying, but the delivery trucks or the vans, it has to be our guys, local South Africans, but it can be black, white, colored, Indian, however, as long as you are a South African. But however, also as a black community, we have not really had an opportunity where we are, given an opportunity where it's given an opportunity, because I think we've just, because of the government, obviously, we were participate. Yes, I've seen our guys, they're doing well, Bopatu and others.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen they're doing wonderful things.
Shout out to them, yeah.
Yes, a big shout out to the likes of Batu, about Drip and many others. But we want more. The entire CBDs, Sansedi, they must be flattered by shops, the shop owners, South Africans.
Maybe let me challenge you on that. Somebody who might be watching the podcast, Abuto, Lona Libuaka Batu in go Otropunya, Nelona take your part.
Asna motho diteke go shabela no ke tse dikwe ke handle ke motole.
Maybe it starts there as leaders.
Yes. However, I'm for local. I don't think you can talk about local or informal market or local products if you are not in support. it wouldn't make sense, right? I'm a big supporter. And I think maybe Lena Sanseki correct. I think Futi, thank you for raising that. So umfale an idea ya gore ke santse ke etse jwang. Ka o sana ha mpotsa ke ra ke ye ke bele ke hlabile le no.
It comes from saying charity begins at home.
Yes.
We can't, as much as we are saying we want to find expression, a seat at the table. So I'll tell you what Mahatma Gandhi did.
Yeah.
The reason why we let dislodge market were the colonizers. Because even colonization was about the economy. Ablella ma Indians so stop the goods that were imported and sold in India. That's why bona ma Indian ma Bangladesh ba para di kurta masela le di rampashane rona di tekitse turang di nga ba tlo para di phaqaphaqa because then you suffocate motho o rekisetsang ntho tseo ha o sa di reke o tlo tsamaya. Now speaking about the informal economy, what is the challenge ka batho ba o tlholo ba leader, and especially in our communities? I mean, I also see you fighting mo groupung e releng ko yona le batho trying to convince them about the informal market. What is the challenge in us telling our people to boycott the foreigners and not buy their things?
No, South Africa, the problem is, as much as I love my country and its people, however, we are divided. And once division, then it becomes difficult to really send out a message that will be received well. Because especially in those groups, now people are putting their own political agenda instead of listening to the message. People want to politicize. I don't believe in politicizing anything that has to do with service delivery. We go all over, and we're not only Gauteng based, but we also go to other provinces. We help people that are not even from my political organization. Some of these people might not even vote for us, right? But so rona batho ba rona santse ba understand gore ba ithute go mamela hore but ntwe Victoria e buang
what does it mean to be a patriot?
Yes, and it tlo re tlisetsa eng wa understand khona no wang lwantsha. If you can check, there are organizations that says they don't support us removing illegal immigrants. They are in fact want foreigners to support. They in fact speak highly of these foreigners, forgetting hore before foreign invasion we had a functioning country. We were running the spaza shops ourselves. We were running these businesses ourselves. The saloons and everything were in the hands of South Africans. So now today, because we've got an influx of illegal immigrants, you tend to think we are incapable. And you are telling us about people that didn't introduce a new model. Something new that you don't know. Such a person we can applaud. And those are those ones, the ones that I was telling you about. They meet their potential investors.
Yeah.
So we are being this political parties praise, but they are stealing from us. You come here, warbono rates at the spaza shop. When you came here, notam akadi paka roll on they were selling duvet covers, let's say especially the Somalis and your Bangladeshis and Ethiopians. They were all over the townships and our villages selling duvet covers. Today they've got they've got so much money. They are even challenging us and taking us to our courts. The same Zimbabweans that were coming here, they were today they think they are constantly in our courts using our resources to fight us, but they can't even do the same where they come from. They don't want to build their own countries, and you do have South Africans that speaks for them. South Africans basa shops. We had this supermarkets. I might have
black chain. So let me tell you something.
Yes.
Blacks and nona slogan saying my mother was an activist nebabina okay check us staying black chain maponya siyatenga, meaning white owned shops we don't buy.
Yeah.
Black owned shops we buy. So ko Soweto go Deep Kloof no gona le shop ena bitsa black chain.
Yes.
So go Deep Kloof no gona le go setsele go para mo pela bo Universal Church no na le shop ba supermarket ba ke black chain. So you can understand black chain holding black people together. And then Nona le Maponya, Eko Dube. So those were the big supermarkets as you talk about. I'm trying to affirm what you're saying, to say long before that, Nona le ntho tse so.
Yes.
And if no Khulela Kokasi, you would know what I'm talking about. Look at Toby, there was this restaurant, the burger, the dark wood. These things, there's nothing new about that.
I'm telling you, look, for example, and the reason why some of us are so protective of the informal market. For example, if you can check about Chisanyama. Chisanyama is one of the products that comes from the informal market, right? And that product, because it's of great quality and value, Sheba Hore, what Black South Africans have done, it was turned into a restaurant. We had Chisanyama restaurants. I've seen one in the CBD. It's just that
There was one that was once very big.
Yes, but my concern is black people don't like to protect what they own. For example, again, I'll add, I previously, I think around 2020, I was raising concern, but why don't we have Kota restaurant that can compete with STS? Level ya busties or STS Eric Sadibeka. Rona regisen to Rona that.
But Mocha Cafe is doing that. Mocha Cafe, even Eleko Sunning Hill.
Yeah, but now the point I was trying to get to was that I'm just not sure who owns it.
Yeah.
But it can be correct for products that are doing so well in our market. We are allowing other people to take over and take full ownership and control. We should be leading everybody. They should be copying these things from us. Like they've introduced their products to us that we have supported. Let's introduce these products to them so that they start supporting. But it cannot be somebody that comes from outside the townships that sees value in something. I even said Magwinya. Magwinya is one of the best sellers.
Big.
If you are to think about it, let's say, for example, if we start especially in our Kasi malls, if you have maybe a small coffee shop the size of an ice cream store, what you want the ice cream store in malls.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a big one, but a small one where you can sell your Magwinya. Let's say you cut it open, you put a whole lot of stuffing in this. It can be cheese or it can be your mince. Make it nice, man.
Sure.
Package it nicely, because also it's important, presentation important. Once it's packaged nicely and attracts attention.
Are you a businesswoman?
Not really. I don't own a business, but I and in fact I can like a qualification businesses.
Okay.
But I'm one person that God gave me a gift. If you take me to an accounting space, I'll be correcting mistakes there. Put me in the informal market, I will show you for what I'm like
Nice.
that. Put me in a science
Fair laboratory.
yes, I will correct the people that have been doing whatever they
Nice.
naturally. It's a God-given talent. Even the informal market, I can tell you now, all these ideas and wisdom I get from God, honestly speaking.
Nice.
So what I was trying to say to you, Kukhore, a big shout out to God. I need to acknowledge as the
Sure.
big man there.
Let's
He
do
knows
that, yeah.
He made me who I am. He gives me all these ideas, so I need to share with my people so that we can grow and become a better community that can be able to produce and compete with the rest of the world and also gain economic power, because without economic power we are nothing. Right? So my point with the Magwinya example
Shop,
that I
yeah.
was giving to Kore, once Magwinya are packaged nicely and like okenze mince or waiditseka acha cheese and whatever that your mangola there, and you are selling it with refillers coffee that was made in the township, right? Now it's a nice combo. You can register like a 35 rand there in the mall. Remember, a mall it's also a business area that attracts a whole lot of customers. Re ba teng ka group ko teng. Ha e tshwanele ge o emela Victoria Fita. There's customers that are ready to buy. They've got money, and just give them product right. Convince them product right. They will come and support. So we should not be missing out on such opportunities where we can have literally South Africans that own those coffee shops in our townships. And before they move to suburb areas, it has to start there. They will, once they perform well, other areas, but why. We will also introduce to the white South Africans. And okay, now I honestly also, as much as I want us to produce business leaders in the black community. However, I'm for South Africans of all races, black, white, Indian, and colored South Africans. I'm a big supporter, the Rainbow Nation. However, also I want my people, the black people, to be to have a seat on the table.
It's important.
It's very, very important.
Because at the moment they are spectators.
Yes, we are. And that's why we are trying to... So we are trying to push a certain race only. No, they've proved a point. It's time for us to prove a point also. We are as capable and intelligent as them. And when I was telling you about the shops in the CBDs, remember, let me start here. According to our laws, the shops that you see in the CBDs that are currently in the hands of Somalis and the Ethiopians and them, they fall under the informal market. They don't meet the 5 million investment margin that I was telling about. So that tells you it's shops that must be, or businesses that must be in the hands of South Africans. Now, if Refule Unali from Garage ko Soweto, or rekisa your sweater, your whatever Kasi vibes, like Soweto Boys you've seen.
Yes.
Yeah, you get. Those are the type of shops we want in our CBDs. Now the textile industry has to come forward, and I'm going to talk to you about it offline, obviously.
Sure.
To also tell you what are the plans. But we want South Africans, not only black South Africans, but white South Africans and Indian South Africans. Let's all take over in the CBDs and own these shops. The colored community also must come forward. But remember also again when we create these products, let them have our South African identity, like Ampedi, you can Botswana, you can be Xhosa, Sotho, vendor or imagine if you are to, as a fashion designer, or it's let's say with a modernized dresses, right?
Shirts,
with a touch of Ndebele.
Yes.
Or the sunglasses. Imagine if the sunglasses
design
Mandebele design.
Nice,
do you get?
Yeah.
Or Zulu, whatever thingy. And such product, it has to have our identity so that we can penetrate the world. That is something that no country can offer in the entire world. Mm-hmm. So imagine those sunglasses, Dina Lebon Ndebele, or Pedi, whatever, or some vendor design there. It can only come from South Africa. Yes, the rest of the world can try and copy at the later stage, but it's our product. We own this product. Yes. Or Munakana is a plate, hey, your dinner plates, a touch of Ndebele colors.
Yeah.
Do you get? So that's why we're taking this thing too. I fell with the spaza shops. This thing is gonna be big. I'm telling you, we're taking we're taking full control of the informal market in its entirety. So fashion designers or those who are in the textile industry must come forward. I was speaking to one of my Indian friends who they are manufacturing the juice. In fact, we're gonna go to one of his warehouses where we're going to see Khore. But those are South African products that we want on our shelves. Do you get? And we're also going to have a market day where we will allow South Africans to come and showcase their let's say, for example, we've got stalls, 100 stalls. They all have different products that they are selling. And I also don't want to reveal because when we are reporting live, because now problem. But we've got big plans. We want to ensure.
When you say we, who's we?
Myself and the team.
Okay.
And in fact, I think you need to speak to one of the guys that we work with, Xolani. I think he's one of the guys that his spaza shop was banned by foreign nationals.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes. So Onali, he's doing quite a lot for the informal market. So I think he's also one of the people that you can have. Do you know him?
I heard of him. I don't know him personally.
Okay, maybe one day when you've got time, he can come through himself.
No, we'll
and
make
Trevor.
time. We'll make time.
Yeah, but what is it also that they can just add to what I've also said?
Are you working with these manufacturing companies, both Tiger Brands, both Premier Foods? Because in terms of good shelving, in terms of what they need usually, the known products. Keep on about the producer and the Somalians, my Ethiopians are in bulk, they get a discount and back on distributor, go the informal market, go the communities. What is your response to that?
No, we're still trying to finalize our plans with the government, and once everything is finalized, re tlo fihla moo. Ha re so fihle moo as yet, but the focus for now, especially on our side, was the manufacturers ba di brands tse sa tsebegaleng that are not on the shelves as yet. So we go around testing gore which one qualifies to wabo, so that re ka ipushetsa pele wabo. Hence, I want us to always create a space where you're giving entrepreneurs an opportunity to come and showcase whatever it is that they're creating, so that gona mo ntse re topa mo hanyane, before you know it, maybe ha letsatsi le fela re tla be re tswile ka di 3 products tse leng gore ra feel gore these are of great quality and power. Before you know it, the Refilwe's Archer is on the shelf,
And that's what's important.
and you are now in a position to employ. You are now
Able to have consistent income,
Yes.
building balance sheet, and your business is growing. You
Yes.
start having your own factory.
Yes. And also, you know, Korofela Mario Kumali also is not here. I also wanted us to reach a point where we're going to be assessing and evaluating Kasi markets. You see the way JSE is doing in terms of business, right? Where they have got whatever they...
Wow.
yeah.
I see your
Rona,
vision.
yeah.
Township
Rona,
Stock Exchange.
yes.
Wow.
Yes. So, and I know Mario Kumalo is something that he's also very passionate about. I think he's also one of the guys that you might have a talk with at the later stage. Hence, I said, "Okara o tlo hloka ditulo ntate."
No, it's not like a line. It's a seat at the table. We
yeah.
get more seats.
So yeah, so we want these guys to literally share what are the plans as young South Africans. What plans do we have in place, and what is it that? Because also it's nice to have all these plans. However, also pushy, nothing will come out of it.
Sure.
So Rona, hence I'm saying next time, let it be not just this talk, but on the ground we eat. So ubone, because one of the sponsorships, the type of sponsorships are not like the one quick foods, ne, big shout out to Kolani.
Sure,
He's doing
big
a
shout out
great
to him,
job.
yeah.
Yeah. So sponsorships are on details. See,
Really?
it's like a mini
Like a
supermarket.
point of sale, yeah.
Yes, it has a point of sale. It has your butchery. It has a bakery. Like even shelving. It's finally e re bonang e ya tswa ko Bangladesh. Re batle those people ba isa standards sa rona ko fase. Rona, that's not who we are. So I think to make sure gore re fa South Africans an idea of what ntho re batlang go etsa. It's also good gore let's go there o di bone. And the type of products also that I'm talking about that are from the informal market created by locals, and how our shops will look like you won't believe. You're not going to believe. So these guys, these Somalian boys and the Bangladeshis, we are coming for you. We are coming for you. Does not matter how much you threaten our lives. No man will stop this.
But now, what if they came to you and especially the ones that are naturalized in South Africa,
Yeah.
and they say, let's speak economic integration?
So unless Babata the deportation, if they want to be deported, because now I will go and ask Home Affairs Hore, how did you before you naturalized his status? What was the status of his application? Did he come here to offer a critical skill? Did he come here as an investor that meets the 5 million business requirement? Because most of them that are naturalized, but Lilemo the asylum seeker permits. And also remember now, an asylum seeker, remember foreign policy, an asylum seeker is somebody that comes from a country that is in a state of war or civil war. Such a person is advised to migrate to their nearest country. So now, why would you come all the way from Bangladesh to seek refuge in South Africa? And who approved such there by Home Affairs? So, bona le batho ba ko Home Affairs batla ilukisa, but Rona, we don't want them here.
What's about Ethiopia, Somalia, country 11?
Yes. How do you skip all these countries? You come here, when you get here, you don't even familiarize yourself with the law to understand what does this country allow me to do as a foreign national. When you think you're the boss, you think you're clever, you take over anything. And I kept telling them, Hore, you are going to go home empty-handed. And they never believed me. You see, even today, we had a program where we were closing a saloon. Before I came here, that's why I was carrying my heels.
High heels.
Yes, because kids are going to a saloon that was owned by that Ghanaian guy. You see that Ghanaian guy that we were insulted about with our Trevor and them. That guy was owning a saloon while he was in a position of of a passport, an expired passport for that matter. He came here in the country in 2019. He was only given 90 days to stay in the country, right? Yena every time he expire, what's a maya ushapa stamp. And haya fela mo, he even went as far as owning a small business in Soweto. Now we are taking over that shop. And when we were telling them, it's not wise to build in a foreign land, they thought it's a joke. Yes, go to other countries, because we do have got South Africans that are in other countries legally. You won't see them forming organizations or in those countries and taking governments of those countries to court. South Africans are well-behaved people globally. You won't see South Africans flooding foreign prisons where they are expecting citizens of those countries to feed them like we are doing in South Africa. Now, how can you go Nigeria? You won't find even 10 South Africans in their prison. But now we've got thousands of them in our prisons, and the taxpayer is forced to feed them. How is that fair? It's not a fair practice. So we cannot have a situation where people are coming into our country doing as they please, and then have a fitla more. When I know we are taking all these things, and also fades. We will take all the shops, the spaza shops. We will take all the shops in the CBDs. And on record, it might take me a while for us to get there, but once I've said it and no, it's guaranteed. Because in 2020, I think 2019 and 2020, I told Africans, I said the world is going to close doors for African migrants. They didn't believe me. In fact, they were fighting me, telling me how xenophobic I am. Where are we now? How many countries are shutting doors for African migrants? It's time for us to build this continent. It's time for us to fix Africa. And no living man, unfortunately, will stop it. Hence, I'm saying even those ones that are inaugurating themselves, I didn't worry myself, because they're going to leave all these cars and suits. But the way that South Africa, they're going to return back to their countries empty-handed.
So you're not open to this thing, economic integration?
Economic integration is a You can't come here and do nails. Come all the way from Ghana to do nails and hair here. We've got enough people that can do that. Come here, offer. Hence, I'm saying, South African produce products that we are going to use to penetrate the international markets.
Let's manufacture, let's produce, and be able to take it to export.
Countries must create and compete. We want the strongest currency, Rona. We want to be an independent state. We don't want to only rely on the world or foreign investors to help us build. We want to gatekeep the informal market, protect the informal market, so that we can be able to produce our business leaders. But from doing this, we will be creating our own cars. The laptops are Rona. They might even be better than the current ones that we are being offered by the world, right? Mm-hmm. That's where it's going, and that's how you gain economic power. We won't have South Africa is going to become a superpower. We will have the likes of CBD, the CBD. Before I get there, because I'm getting too excited now, I'm talking about something that's very close to my heart. Now, honestly speaking, I want us to run the economy 24/7. And it's going to start in the townships. We're going to put it to the test. Say, for example, I was even saying to my people, Trevor and them, to say, if kasi malls, the Kalaho operator, 20, especially area towards December, where a lot of people have got bonuses, a lot of people are at home, it's family time, you'll want to take your kids and your woman or family members. It doesn't have to be relationship fella, but family and friends. You want to go go to the mall. How to operate this malls 24 hours. You are now also giving creators an opportunity to come up with new products. This is a new lifestyle that is being introduced, or culture that is introduced
Safety
to us.
and security?
Yes. It will now force us to employ more officials. You will have SAPS and Metro on the streets. Not only that, the shops that are open, Edgar's, Lebo Foshini, and Mr. Price and them, that are in our malls, will be forced to have the head office opened, right? Now they need to employ staff sabushiro. Because now, if Refuller comes with his black card or whatever, wants to make a huge purchase, somebody has to verify there by head office if we've got the right customer in the store, right? And now, it does not only end there. The banks will see a need. Why must we open? Again, you're using a big purchase. FNB high it will have stuff sa boshigo. Wa bona hore yanong etsang.
But libo
We are so
AI integrated
Yes,
there.
hence I'm saying now it's giving us the innovators and creators an opportunity to create the new things to accommodate this new lifestyle. Do you get? So now a whole lot of people are now employed. We are dealing with what now? Unemployment.
Crime,
We are dealing with crime. We are
Yeah.
also dealing with GBV. Now the men have
Le
got money.
substance
Ha ba sa
abuse.
lwanela motogo le mosadi. A ba sa lwanela- ba sa- a go sa tagwa. So that's where we're going. Hence, I'm saying nobody's going to stop us. The only man that has powers to stop us is God.
So when you're in
And-
government,
Yes,
someone who's watching us right now,
yes.
how can they trust you that once you get in government, you'll still speak like this?
No, Rana, hence, okay, for me, to begin with, I'm guided by God, and I'm one person that respect God. That I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I ke rate go etsa ntho tse wrong because I need to please the God that I follow, that I respect so much, the creator of heaven and earth, the one who brought me here. Because now I wanted to do your TV presenting and hence the dress code and all this. But he said, hey, Victoria, you're not going there. Do you get? So, and I've got a heart for the community. It worries me. Hence, I'm even speaking on behalf of the continent. The same people that are here destroying our country, I still say I want to see them back in their countries doing better. As much as they've killed my people, as much as they've taken over the economic space and doing unlawful things here and violating our laws, I still want to see them do better where they come from. And there's no Victoria without God. So there's no way, Ngare, once I'm given power and money, I will become something else. And now I'm not in parliament or anything. But if you can tell me, how Dipetlele Victoria, what was the outcome? For example, there in Mpumalanga, the MEC had a meeting with our people. The biometrics system was installed, where South Africans, by Yankodi Clinic and public hospital, they are expected to put a fingerprint to get as access, ne? O kena ka
Biometric.
yes.
So that it tracks out your
Yes.
ID information and
Yes.
stuff. Yeah.
Those are the results that we got from doing the work because we were led by God. The results. Now we had an engagement with the guy from Ghana. Because God was involved, that message reached Africa. As much as I was insulted, but it gave positive results. As we speak, we've got Ghanaians leaving for Ghana on Friday. We were talking to them today. They went to the embassy. You will see that program again.
Well done.
Our people are going to be owning those saloons, right? Problem is, I saw but something is moving because we move with God. So now I don't want a life without God. I don't want to do anything without Him. I don't want anything else I'm permission to do. To get, even when the Patriotic Alliance takes power and takes this country, expect the same energy from me. Hence, we've been facing this terrorists unarmed. How can you face over 1,000 men untouched? It can only be God. I don't crop top at all. I went to war wearing a bezana. I don't have a gun. But God, yes, I don't wear, okay, I'm an undercover ZCC member, so my church does not allow pens and I don't drink alcohol. However, they never said I must wear bezana. But I can't be wearing long dresses if I'm going to church because yes, that's the reason why I all the time I wear short skirts and short dresses and also I like beautiful things, right? But I say was a topic Victoria it's on. So, however, what I'm trying to say, see, even there in the town, when we went Lebo Trevor, did the government, as we speak, an area that was where foreigners were operating for over 35 years, they took SA government to court twice, and government lose a case until we intervened with God. What happened? As we speak, the government has got JMPD has officials by they are doing oversight there. Nobody can touch the street. You can't do your business there. For over 35 years, the government was failing to resolve that issue until we intervened. That street there that we removed also there from legislature.
Okay.
Legislature.
Yeah.
There used to be these guys with tikutukutu tsa bone
Yes,
mo le ba
le
rekisa-
diaparo, ba di rekisang.
Chomia Heights Simeon Trevor. That guy he was fighting with from Nigeria there. As I'm telling you now, you can see as an investor that comes to a meeting there by JRA offices or by legislature.
Legislature.
Wa
It's not a
bona
good
gore
side. It was not a
it
good
was
side.
not a good side. And we raised concern and there were even
And down the road,
signs.
Kilutuli House.
Yes, but Lituli House didn't care. What did we do? We cleaned that place. As we speak, we can take officials coming from all over the world and say, come and see our CBD and use that route. No, what does that mean? It means South Africans are not playing when it comes to
Taking the economy back.
taking the economy back and protecting this country. And also it means we are ready to attract potential investors that are going to invest in our markets. Because remember, any city, its key priority has to ensure that they attract the right investors in towns. Now, when you have got a government offices, you've got premiers and everybody here who's mandated and getting paid for doing their job, but they're not doing that. They wear suits and they're expecting us to respect them, but they're failing to keep our cities clean. And they keep saying South Africa in an unemployment crisis. You're talking as if you are not in a position of power. You're talking like you are a civilian on the streets. You're not giving us solutions. The city must look attractive. Also fades. But the city must look at it must be investor friendly and attractive. So once you fail to attract investors, what are you still doing? Because those are the people that are going to move, ensure that the city moves forward. We must collect revenue. So if you've got all these businesses that are selling counterfeit goods, while boys of Soweto are there operating in our townships, they don't have the shop more, but they've got products of great quality. You've made a way for Somalians that are selling counterfeit goods there. The government will come in now and then and go remove those people. Before you know it, next week, ba khutletse hape. What does that mean? We want young people like yourselves to come and show this government the way.
Your message
Yes.
to the viewers of the podcast, one, with regards to them individually finding a seat at the table. Because if akuna stool, tshwantse o batle crate, like o batle crate, o batle stainer, just make a seat so that you find expression in the economy. Your message to our viewers. Secondly, with regards to access to markets, to ensure that their products, they find expression, good shelving, and our people maybe having an affirmative mindset to understand the importance of buying our own stuff. And lastly, access to equitable finance. Because hangata mutakabanal product. Yesterday I went to Leroy Merlin and I got to get hardware, AMA French. And I got to learn that sometimes what kills township-based businesses, or I think it's so big that Agono is sustained. Now that's access to finance. So when you speak to finding a seat for yourselves at the table and ensuring that our products, they find access to the market, and the market also becomes receptive in buying our own boycott and towards the foreigners. Lastly, access to market, access to finance. Because our total order, for example, ko Leroy Merlin, barko wena re batla supply ka maplanka a obese 1,000 bags. Would you have enough money to produce that stock? Because batlo patala after deliver. So such things. What message do you have? And maybe you can speak to that camera to our viewers.
Oh, okay. So I think in terms of it start with creating first, because I think we had also a meeting in Soweto Naledi where Maile was the economic
When he was the finance
development.
economic and finance
Yes.
minister, MEC, yes.
And I was shocked to hear him say, "Gore, there's no access to the market. South Africans don't have access to the market." And I asked them, "Gore, how are we going to have access to the market if you've allowed foreign nationals to take over the market?" It starts there. And if we don't deal with the issue of foreign nationals in this country, the influx of foreign nationals, we will forever not have a market space. And we will have government officials that come and talk as if there's nothing that they can do because there are people that have taken over. South Africans can't be complaining about access to market. If government was doing its job, implementing our laws to protect our wealth, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be talking about access to market, an issue. Now, we need to first remove these people and ensure, now we have started to ensure we do have enough entrepreneurs that are creating the products that we want, that are going to be on our shelves, that are going to be in the supermarkets that I'm telling you about, that are going to be in our spaza shops, because our spaza shops has to sell our products. I renegotiate. We want the South Africans to come forward. And I also talked about the market day event that we're going to have.
Yes.
It's going to be, I think, once or twice a year, where we will have a space where, say, we have your Pick n Pay owners and your Spar and your ShopRite owners that will come, but to check out the products. It's which one can make it to the shelves. You get. So haito fella ka gore the entrepreneurs get financial assistance from government only, but we also want to have a relationship with the current supermarkets that are currently operating in our markets, to have that some sort of relationship where they can identify some of these products. If maybe refila gore your product has sansa we polish maybe packaging are you right. We have to. Hence, I said the others, I don't want to talk about it. What's the plan really? But I can assure you now that we are in talks. We have formalized. We are having these discussions. They've got products that we think can go to the shelves, but they are not there as yet. And we also cannot be expecting Pick n Pay and ShopRite all the time and Buspa to take the products are Rona. When are we having our own Spar? Level Spar, so that there's competition. I mean, the pie is big for every one of us. So South Africa has got big supporters, especially in the market, by consumers like our people bareka. Hence, if you check the people that are operating shops in the CBDs, those people are relying on the South African market. They don't. The Ethiopian women, they don't buy things that they sell there in your small streets. It's South Africans. So even if they leave after deportation, how it will affect us? Our concern is refilled there ready with his stock. The market is here. It's ready to support. That's the only part that we are trying to address right now, right? And we are doing so well. I'm happy and confident. There's budget from government. We will be working with them closely. However, I think that will be revealed at the later stage once everything is finalized. But South Africans must know, it's time for them to come forward. It's time for them to come and participate in the informal market. It's time for them to keep pushing and creating these products, because without producing anything, you are doomed. There's no economic power without entrepreneurs. Otherwise, all the time. And it does not work for us. We must be a country that wants to host seminars, business seminars, where we hoping to attract foreign investors only. Let those investors that will invest in our markets or in our country be South Africans. From there and there. But now, let's produce those cars. Let's produce those phones. Let's produce those clothes. See, some of us are getting things from Bushain Hub. The South Africans there in the townships or in the informal market that have been designing clothes, it's time for them to shine. Let them come and those clothes that we are buying from Shein in South Africa, we are capable of doing that. The African market, we will be penetrating that, and since we are in the African continent, it's easy for us to trade with African countries. It's just that now they don't want to acknowledge their wrongdoing because they're turning everything into xenophobia. But by emotional shame, understand. But right is hard. Because we're not playing. We're not playing about building. We're not playing about creating as the African continent. And Lebanon, they should do the same. We are hoping to see all these African countries also doing the same in the informal market, showing us in Nigeria what is a product of great value in your informal market, and what are you doing to ensure why you've got we etsa hore e reach the standard sa e leng gore e ka go etsa hore we rekise in other countries. We want to buy their products. We want to see them creating also. So as much as le rona re le ma South Africans re se re qadile re creator, let's also ensure gore the African market lona open, because it global exchange ya gore rona re produce tse kota lona le re fang ya tswa Nigeria, lena le re fang from Ghana. Do you get EMO? However, there is also funding available. We will have a platform where South Africans will be invited to come and see how do they go about applying for funding. And also, you must know, not anything that we are a part of, there will be a monitoring team. Now, we don't want to speak to government to give refuel money, only for refuel ayo. We want to ensure you are running that business and successfully. And these people that doesn't take their businesses serious to extent where orekisa boroto, but it's not even nice, even the environment, we don't want such. Hence, I'm saying the model that we are going to introduce at this spaza shop, clean, and we don't want people undermining the informal market. No, as these things are going to build us. They are going to make a name for us in the long run. They are the reason why the world respects South Africa at the end of the day. The products that I told you about, let our products have a touch of an African feel to it, South African feel to it, to be specific. It's very, very important. Those nice dresses that they will be making for us, a touch of, not all of them, obviously, because but a country futia manyalo, one of these beautiful gowns that our ladies wear, but we don't have the shops. Where are those people operating from? We don't have their shops in the mall. We don't have their shops in the CBDs. Where are they operating from? Which means the back room. We don't want that. Country yabona, the market is open. It's in the wrong hands. It's currently flooded by the wrong people. We want those South Africans to come forward to occupy them.
And find a seat at the table.
And find a seat at the table.
Victoria Africa, thank you for being our guest on the program. I know Muto busy, but thank you so much for making time.
Okay, thank you so much for listening. We are not perfect, however, there's any mistakes as we build. Building or working also comes with mistakes. We're not perfect, but we will get it right.
That has been Victoria Africa, an activist, a politician and a member of the Patriotic Alliance who loves South Africa to the core. And she's saying, whatever you do, whichever way you're doing it, find favor with God and ensure that you remain a patriotic. Till next time. Bye-bye.